help us out over time. Rich, I'm looking at the storm now west of Richmond in Wayne County, and it looks like that one may be starting to exhibit a little bit of a rotation as well, with the area right just off, although it looks like it's splitting also.
You got a cell split there, so you have that one area of heavy rain heading into Richmond, and that's not the cell that we're concerned about. The one Jamie was just talking about. Heading into Jacksonburg, or just north of town, you get that little idea, or that slight idea of a twist with that storm into Greens Fork, Webster. So this has already crossed Highway 40. It is crossing I-70 at this point, and worth just talking about this briefly, just in the event that this does become tornadic. State Highway 38, and this threat would take us past Greens Fork and in between Economy and Fountain City, where earlier today we had our first tornadic storm as far as the warnings were concerned. But I'll go ahead and throw the warnings back up there just so you can get an idea of what we're dealing with right now. We do have 3 warnings in effect, 2 tornado warnings and a severe thunderstorm warning. The flashing red boxes indicating the 2 tornado warnings that are effective for another 16 minutes. Now, over the course of these storms, they have been extended. The warnings have been extended. So it's not to say in 16 minutes we're going to be done with the threat of a tornado, but at least at this point, that's for these initial warnings. So you got to keep in mind, too, we have a tornado watch in effect for the entire WHIO viewing area, wherever you're seeing us from, until 1 a.m. So the idea is this is potentially a situation where we might have to follow severe weather even after sunset. But, Jamie, you might agree with me about this. And thinking as we lose the heating of the day once we get past sunset, maybe not as many storms taking on the characteristics that we've been seeing so far today. And not to say we wouldn't get severe weather later into the evening, but hopefully we're losing at least that component to the storms that we've been seeing.
Well, some places have already cooled down because of rain. I'm looking at some temperatures here on our Weather Vision 7 network, and we've got some places that were in the low 80s, now down into the low 70s where the heavy rain has moved through. So that's going to help out lessening the severe threat with time. And once the sun does go down, we'll cool down as well. So that will lessen the severe threat also. Now, I spoke too soon just a moment ago when I mentioned that we don't have any reports of any flooding yet, because a flood advisory has been issued until 11 o'clock tonight for western Clark County, northwestern Greene County, extreme southeastern Miami County, and eastern Montgomery County. So the areas that are essentially the same as where we have the severe thunderstorm warning because of the very heavy rain from this, but likely also because of the heavy rain that's going to come through from this. So we are going to start to see some street flooding if we haven't already. In fact, minor flooding was reported in Riverside about 8 o'clock. About an inch of rain has fallen in half an hour in the Riverside area. So there you go. So if you're going to be traveling out and about, or if you live near a stream that easily floods, keep in mind there could be some rising waters with those. If there are any higher waters that we have problems with, we'll certainly let you know about those. But flood advisories typically are just for small streams and streets, not, a situation where rivers will be out of their banks and causing real major problems. Rich, put the warnings back on for us for just a second here, because we'll notice.
This is a WHIO Fox breaking news alert. You're listening to the continuing coverage from Channel 7 of the weather situations all around the Miami Valley. For the most part, all north of I-70 seems to be the major problems, and some of the storms and now some flooding potential as well along the I-70 corridor. We'll keep you posted all evening long as we rejoin Channel 7.
Good news for those of you in Champaign County, because you were included in this tornado warning. You're not now. The area of this warning is much smaller than previously, and we saw that happen with this one as well. So I think, Rich, we're starting to see the weakening trend with both of these cells, and that means, most importantly, the threat for the tornado, although still there, is starting to decrease a bit.
Exactly. And one threat that I'm starting to see increase in Logan County is the threat for flooding, at least with these storms. And I see as we're getting past sunset or getting towards sunset, these storms taking a different shape or evolving into a different type of storm with this inherent tropical moisture that we've been supplied with. And you look here toward New Carlisle, where we have that severe thunderstorm warning. You look up towards St. Paris, a little cell developing there. And if you were to follow a line and you see the development south of the graph, it looks like these cells are beginning to kind of develop into maybe one solid line or kind of a mesh as they head through the counties there. And we're going to have to watch for the threat now of some extremely heavy rain, I think, as we get into West Liberty and just south of Bell Fountain. It remains to be seen, obviously, if this warning is extended past 8:30.
Yeah, speaking of which,